Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Kyle Roerink joins us. He's the Executive Director of the Great Basin Water Network for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
The 7th Annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, compassion, accountability, integrity, respect. Tolles Development Company, breathing life into Northern Nevada's future. And the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, meeting the community's present and future needs.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Kyle Roerink. He is Executive Director of the Great Basin Water Network. Pleasure to have you back on the program,
Howdy,
sir.
Sam.
So, it's been interesting. I was in D.C. just recently talking to Congressman Horsford, and he was talking about 2 desalination plants being built off the coast of California, and the potential for negotiating water rights, that if California takes that water, that we could get more water from the Colorado River. My counter to that was, how many years are you looking at to renegotiate the Colorado River Compact? 20, 30 years. Your thoughts on that? Because do you think that that's a good idea?
You know, I think desalination has been something that my organization has always advocated as part of a silver buckshot type of water strategy for the state. There's no one solution that's going to cure the fact that we are the driest state in the nation. So yes, I think exploring the possibilities of desalination is a great idea and something that we need to do even more. We've explored the idea of the Las Vegas pipeline long enough, and we know the outcome is not going to be good for anyone in Nevada. So I think this is great.
In your organization's opinion,
you know, as it relates to ratepayers and folks throughout the state and people who care about the environment. I think the data do speak for themselves, but sure. And I think, with that said, going back to the question, opening up the Colorado River Compact is a whole can of worms. But, I think we can see that when it comes to, look at the drought contingency plan, for example. I praised the Southern Nevada Water Authority's work in getting Nevada a really good deal on that. And so I think, we have really good negotiators with a really good track record there. So, I'd be confident at what Nevada could get out of that. But yeah, the time, it could take a while. But with that said, we have the water supply to get us through there. As it relates to Nevada's allocation and share of the Colorado River. And the reason why we do that is because the Water Authority has done a lot of really good things to ensure that long-term supply. So, I think we're in a position where we shouldn't do something because it may take a long time. So,
well, and I point out, and have done in the past, that it took Senator Reid 30 years to renegotiate the Truckee River operating agreement. So, and that's a tiny piece by comparison, and only 2 states between California and Nevada and the tribe, et cetera. But your point is well made, which is we don't need the water tomorrow. We do need it in the future, but we don't need it tomorrow. So, I certainly give you credit on that. You were saying, I believe it was silver buckshot.
Silver buckshot.
Yeah, I've not heard that expression before. What other things are you looking at? Because we're going to see an increase in population of around 1 million additional people in the Las Vegas Valley. So what other things are in that bucket?
Well, and I guess the one question would be, is that a given that, 1 million people have to come, to the Las Vegas Valley? I don't know, and is the Valley ready to handle that? But I would say, the water smart conservation programs that the Water Authority has implemented over the years have proven themselves to be really successful. And I think, doubling down on those any way that we can is a really, really important part of the strategy.
What parts do you think we're missing at this point?
Because
I agree with you. On that area, Southern Nevada Water Authority has done an incredible job.
Yeah, I think, looking at making investments, in modernizing and updating any infrastructure to ensure that you don't have water waste, and, really doubling down on technology to detect that type of waste, whether it's, drips and drops coming out of people's pipes in their homes or in kind of the larger scale infrastructure for transportation throughout neighborhoods. Down there, I think that's one way. Continuing to invest in turf removal programs and other landscaping programs that incentivize, a very, very small water usage down there. Because I think this all gets back to the fact that Las Vegas is in the Mojave Desert. So, I think just we need to have a better understanding of this state of, where our GPS coordinates are, per se.
All right, so we'll come back to the million-person thing in a moment. But, the biggest user of water is really agriculture. And do you envision a future where agriculture and ranching, for example, disappear completely from Southern Nevada?
I don't think we'll ever see agriculture disappear. Now, of course, agriculture is the biggest water user in the state. It's the biggest water user in every state.
Right.
And so, these are businesses that are growing food. They're growing food for food. I imagine that a lot of people, when they're eating their ice cream in Las Vegas, may not realize that, the food that the cows ate, very well likely could have come from eastern or central Nevada. So, the state is a part of a larger scale food chain. And, while I think I think one example is Colorado right now, where you see programs being implemented where maybe you're buying out ranchers' water rights, or you're incentivizing ranchers to fallow their fields. Now, on the ballot in Colorado this cycle was a proposal, I mean, you can't get more Nevadan than this, a proposal to legalize the sports betting in that state and then tax it to raise money for water programs. And it was, neck and neck. And so I don't know where it is. I've been looking and waiting to see the results all morning, but I think, those are some of the other things that we could be talking about in this state. And again, we've seen other states do these things, so there's a bit of a roadmap there. I'm sure we could make it Nevadan at its core, but yeah, I think, I've listed off some stuff there that are all part of that buckshot.
All right. So what you're talking about with Colorado, isn't that to an extent what the Southern Nevada Water Authority has done in eastern Nevada, which is buying up ranches and, holding on to those water rights and taking them out of ranching from willing sellers?
Well, but the whole point of buying those ranches was to buy out protests of the pipeline project. This wasn't, and the whole point of being up there for them is to transport the water down to Vegas. It has nothing to do with long-term conservation. What they're doing in Colorado is trying to get over-allocated groundwater basins back to an equilibrium, or trying to prevent groundwater basins from getting out of an equilibrium. What the Water Authority has done in eastern Nevada was, essentially to gain a foothold in order to, transport water hundreds of miles to pump it and pipe it.
Yeah, no, and I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying though is that they are not stealing water. They went in and bought they bought ranches that had water rights. They're actually continuing to run them as ranches at this point in time, and the idea being that they would at some point, perhaps 30 or plus years, as we were talking about down the road, be able to have that for excess population in Southern Nevada. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about those million people that are coming, and we'll be right back.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia. Yeah.
Because of UMC, I'm putting my free time to good use.
Because of UMC, she keeps me on my toes.
Because of UMC and this guy, I'm here.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Kyle Roerink. He is Executive Director of the Great Basin Water Network. Okay, the reality is reality. is that you are not going to stop people moving to the Las Vegas Valley and environs. And you know, demographers are the people that plan out 30 years in advance, and they're saying that there's going to be another 1 million people in that Las Vegas Valley over time. And you're looking at the growth of it's not just the gaming industry anymore, because you really have to look at it as hospitality, because it's hotels, it's conventions, it's so many other things. And right now, you've got the expansion of the convention center, you've got Genting's project going to come online next year, you've got Circa coming online in downtown Las Vegas in the next year, and then right behind that, the Drew, which is another 4,000 rooms. So you're building thousands and thousands of rooms. Eventually, Ivanpah is going to become an airport, and that's going to have light rail that's going between Ivanpah and Las Vegas. So doesn't Southern Nevada, the Water Authority, the water districts have to deal with the reality that they are eventually going to be serving 1 million more people?
Well,
how do you stop it?
I think it is prudent to think that way in terms of, you know, how do we properly plan for any scenario in the future. So, and again, our organization we're not opposed to growth in Las Vegas. What we advocate for is making sure that we do it responsibly. What we don't want to see is one part of the state, be harmed, for the benefit of another. We don't think that is really the responsible way to govern and to run a state. And so, I think right now, all the debate around the Clark County Lands Bill, I think kind of exemplifies the discussions that need to be, undertaken as it relates to growth. And, where are we putting the people who are going to work in all of these new properties on the Las Vegas Strip? And then I think we also have to think about what their impact will be. And so, on things like the water supply, and then therefore, where do you get the water? And I think this goes back to what you were speaking about with Congressman Horsford, is looking at desal as an option, because we also have to consider what are the projections for the Colorado River for the next 50 years, and how does that bode for us? So, yeah, we are not opposed to responsible growth in Las Vegas, but I think the whole state needs to be a part of that conversation. When Las Vegas is potentially looking to get its water supply from other parts of the state.
Okay, so you bring up another interesting point, as always, which is that we are seeing less and less representation for rural Nevada, and places that are not rural, like Reno and Sparks, etc., as the power shifts because of the population base to Southern Nevada. So, isn't that a tremendous climb for your organization and others?
I think
because I'm worried about Reno Sparks, let alone Elko and Ely.
Sure, absolutely. I think the larger our urban areas become, the more we need to value our rural areas, because I think it's part of the joys of living in a state like we do. You can leave Las Vegas, and then in an hour and a half, then you're in a place like Pahranagat, and then you go another hour and a half north, and you're in beautiful forests and wilderness areas, and then you go another hour north, and then you're in Great Basin National Park. And while you've gone that way, you've passed some really impressive agricultural operations and a lot of great recreational opportunities. And so I think we're all in the same universe here. And I think we need to protect and preserve all the great things about this state, whether it be the gaming industry, or whether it be the outdoor recreation industry, or whether it be the agricultural industry, or whether it be, endangered or threatened species, or our public lands. So.
Okay, so the Review Journal recently wrote an article about one of the wildflowers that is an endangered species in Southern Nevada. It's only in one small area, and there's a lithium mine proposed for that. Are you comfortable with stopping potential needs like mining, and especially in the lithium area where we have a limited supply, and Nevada could be one of the places to really benefit from that. Species, of one kind or another, whether it's plant life or humans, have changed dramatically over the millennia.
Sure. Our organization is not involved in, I guess, that dispute with the BLM, and I think what is being asked there, from my understanding, is not to stop the mine. It's just to kind of move things around a little bit. But I think as it relates to the pipeline project, there are species at risk, and these are things that society needs to ask itself. Do we wipe out something in order for something else to happen? And these are the tough questions of the Anthropocene era that we live in, and we're going to be asking ourselves that more and more as time goes on.
Anthropocene era. Explain that briefly.
The Anthropocene is a term that's being widely used now about
not in this house.
The impacts of humans on the earth. I guess where scientists are saying that there has never been impact from humans like we have ever seen before, and so they have termed it the Anthropocene. And one day in the geologic record, billions of years from now, there will be undeniable remains of this era, whether it be plastics or whatever, in the Earth's records. So that's what the scientists are saying, Sam.
All right. Well, we do have people trying to clean up the plastics, but let's take another break and we'll be right back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
One of the most psychologically damaging things parents can do to children in divorce is disparage one another, which is why I can't believe I even have to make this commercial. Half of your kids' genetics come from this person you're spewing hate about. Your children have the right to love you both, but more than that, they deserve to love themselves.
Marilyn York might be a men's rights divorce attorney, but this is for every selfish parent. Shut up!
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Kyle Roerink. He's Executive Director of the Great Basin Water Network. But in your previous career, you were working for Tom Steyer. And Tom Steyer is doing an incredible amount, not only in Nevada, but across all the battleground states and the early states. And I just want to get your thoughts on Tom Steyer, because he's obviously, through his money, building great name recognition. But positive, negative, what are your thoughts on Tom Steyer?
Yeah, I don't weigh in really publicly on.
Nobody watches this show,
the presidential.
Man. we got 3 viewers, and one is my wife.
I
Come
don't
on.
believe that, but I think his stock has certainly been rising over the past couple months, and how that's happened, whether it's just pumping a lot of his personal wealth into a campaign, or gaining traction. He's been out talking about his concerns for the country with people pretty much nonstop since President Trump took office. So it's hard to tell how that really comes to be from where I sit, but I know he is out there and he's engaging with folks on his issues, and his organization did lead, I think, the largest get out the vote turnout effort in the 2018 midterm cycle, and I'm sure he's still making those investments out there.
He's definitely making a lot of investments. Okay, that's where we got to leave it. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
The 7th Annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. Compassion, accountability, integrity, respect. Tolles Development Company, breathing life into Northern Nevada's future. And the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, meeting the community's present and future needs.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? What are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everywhere is Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast.